Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again. You know the deal. It's another episode of my Montreal Canadiens franchise mode series, and today we look to finish up the 2022-2023 season. The question is, where will we be by the end of this episode? Will we be a playoff team, or that's the only kind of response. It's like, are we a playoff team or are we in a ton of trouble? Now, the one move I'm making to start off here, of course, we talked about it at the end of the last episode, getting rid of Anthony Stolarz. He just hasn't worked out as the backup. I do have two options that I have scouted out as potential backups. We have Michael Neuwirth, currently with Columbus, 34 years old, 82 overall, has a great save percentage of a .932, but that contract's a bit rough, and he is actually a starting goalie. He's a very low-end starter at an 82 overall. Of course, 82 overall is either the highest you can be as a backup goalie, or the lowest overall you can be as a starter. The other option belongs to the Vancouver Canucks at the moment. That would be Michael DiPietro, only a 79 overall at 23 years old, but he has a .935 save percentage in 13 appearances, still on a very friendly contract for the next 2 years, and for that reason, we are going after Mr. DiPietro. Now, to get this deal done, I'm hoping we can just give up a couple of third-round picks to push this through. That way we can avoid giving up anything major. I don't really want to give up a second-rounder, and there's not really a prospect I want to get rid of. Unfortunately, though, it looks like I'm going to have to give in. And the prospect we will add, where are my low elites? There they are. So Nichushkin, LaCosta, and Kravchenko, three guys that we signed this past offseason, although Prindis only at 55. Dominic Prindis, another guy that we signed this offseason, only at 55 at 20 years old. I think he's going to be the guy. At 55 overall, I'm just not sure if he's going to develop. Now, we are going to have to take on another contract, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we'll do what we have to do here. Louis Eriksson, 73 overall Louis Eriksson. That would be hilarious. Let's just take back a defenseman. Defenseman for defenseman. What was this? Jaden Chatfield, I believe. Alex Edler on an expiring deal. We'll go for Chatfield. Is it Jaden? Jalen. I was close. Mr. Chatfield, will add you to the deal, and I was going to give up picks in this deal. Apparently, I might be getting them now. We'll go for a third-round pick. No. All right. Worth a shot. How about a fifth and a seventh, just to make myself feel better about this deal? Still no. Just the fifth? Straight up. So what I was worried about. They don't want to trade DiPietro. All the more reason why going after Michael Neuwirth seemed a little bit more reasonable. And it's looking a little bit more reasonable. Columbus, let's talk, shall we? Again, I'm a little bit concerned about the morale, a little bit concerned about that contract. Maybe they'll be willing to retain some salary. I mean, having Neuwirth on a deal worth 1.4 certainly sounds a hell of a lot better than 2.8. Prindis. We're going to have to add another defenseman to the deal, not another goaltender. What do we have here? Is that Carl Gunnarsson at this point? Oh my God. Yikes. That might be the worst contract I've ever seen in this game, and I've handed 50 overall players $14 million. 4 years at $4.2 million. 36 years old, 79 overall. Good Lord. That is one of the worst contracts I have ever seen. We'll look to add Colton McInnes to this deal to try and even it out. And I have a feeling it won't go through, but let's just go ahead and add a fourth and a sixth to the hell of it, just in case. Rejected. They don't want to retain. Rejected again. Straight up. Still no. Columbus, I think you want to retain salary. I think you do. I'll make it worth your while. Third round pick? Nope. Come on, Columbus. Whatever. I'm willing to do this because as it is, they didn't really want to give up DiPietro. Columbus, come on now. Must we make this difficult for me to just get a backup goalie? Columbus, you're retaining salary. You're doing it. I don't care. Here, you know what? I'm giving up my second round pick because I'm confident we're going to make the playoffs. Columbus. I am not giving up another second rounder, but Columbus, you need to get it together. You need to realize what a good deal this is. You're retaining salary for 2 years. That's it. Just man up and help me out here. All right, Vancouver. Let's go talk to the Vancouver Canucks again, shall we? In fairness, I mean, they have the NHL's best record. With Thatcher Demko between the pipes, no real surprise there. Let's go ahead and try this again, shall we? So, Mr. Jalen Chatfield, how would you like to come to Montreal for the rest of the year? And we'll look to use draft picks, I do suppose, so why not? I offered a second-round pick before. I'll offer my second-round pick now. What do you say? Well, sweet proposal, apparently. Might not have... Well, then again, 2 third-round picks wasn't enough, but the second-rounder was. So at best, I would have been able to get like a 5th and a 7th tacked onto the deal. So it's fine. There you go, though. Hopefully our backup goaltending situation is taken care of with Michael DiPietro added to this team. That took a lot longer than I thought it would have. As far as the rest of the team goes, of course, I was looking at the comments from the last video. Quite a few options. There was, I mean, I don't know if I'd say there was like an overwhelming consensus. For the moment, we will kind of keep the team the same. We'll see if the fourth line wakes up. We'll especially keep an eye out on Joel Farabee to see how he does moving forward. But until we really start struggling, I'm going to be hesitant to make changes. But we do have changes in mind that you guys have been suggesting. And we'll, hopefully avoid that situation where we have to really start considering those as Matt Dumba goes down for a couple of weeks. That is a great start. Oh, that's a great start. It does give me an excuse to look at the power play and PK lines, though. So let's take a look here. We got to send down Chatfield anyway. And we'll call up... I don't want to call up Mete. We'll lose him. Could call up Jenks. Could call up Simon Bork, who I think is getting a bit aggravated with this spot. No, he's just aggravated with his play. All right, well, Simon, you're getting the call up, buddy. Welcome back to the NHL level. Let's go best lines again here. Although, funny enough, swear to God, I would go best lines at a point earlier in the season, as I mentioned, and it would put Farabee on the second line. Now, it puts him on the fourth line, so that could be very, very telling. Let's get these lineups figured out here. So we'll go Bork, Shattenkirk, Gerard Juleson, Hughes, and Darnell Nurse, I guess. Now let's go Nurse, Juleson. Yeah, let's put the young guys together. Bork and Gerard. More inexperienced players, maybe not the youngest players that we have on the team. Special teams wise, that's an interesting setup game. I don't think I agree with it at all, but we'll keep it relatively the same. You know what? I mean, Nurse is going to be back, and I'm going to have to take a look at that setup anyway once he's back. So let's not worry about it. 2 straight losses now to Florida and Edmonton. We bounce back with a 4-1 win. All right, so again, still 500 hockey from us. That's pretty much what it's been all season. I mean, again, if you look at our record, the regulation and overtime losses, we're a 500 hockey club, which isn't exactly ideal, I would say. Probably not living up to our full potential here. Can we at least beat Detroit? Don't know if we did, but we did lose Kevin Shattenkirk to injury as well. Oh, God. You could see how some of this might be a problem. We're going to call up Norm Jenks. Thankfully, we have some defensive depth this year, but this is starting to get a little bit scary. Just a little bit. So let's see. Let's swap these guys around again. It's looking all right. And then on defense, we got Nurse and Juleson, Hughes, Gerard, Jenks, and Simon Bork. And then, of course, at the AHL level, Mr. Chatfield is in the lineup. Congrats. We'll leave you there. Why not? Just to keep, the Laval Rocket with the best possible lineups. We do get a trade offer for Damon Severson. Of course, I didn't remember to edit the trade block, and that is now 2 straight losses. A 6-2 loss to the Red Wings. So we get an offer for Alex Pietrangelo, but giving up DeMaio is not going to happen. Now, we are dealing with injuries, so for that reason, let's sim another week. I'm not going to, think less of this team because we are missing some of our key players. But obviously, we're looking for results, and we're looking for results right now. So it's a tough spot to be in. All right, we'll send down Jenks. I'll have to set up the team again. So again, it was Nurse that's back. Actually, both of them are back. Shattenkirk's not 100%, but we will put him in right now just for the sake of time. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again. So Simon Bork, hopefully you don't get claimed. You did not. Congrats. I am glad you are still with this organization. A good call-up option. So let's take a look here yet again at point totals, I would say. And then again, maybe I'll wait until the end of the month to look at point totals again. The power play, Pacioretty, Drouin, Puljujärvi. Gallagher's still not complaining about ice time, so that's good. So we'll still go with Norris, Kapanen, and I'm going to put Farabee there. And on defense, we have Shattenkirk and Dumba. We got to put Quentin Hughes on the power play as well. And then the penalty kill is Danault, Garlock, Heinold, Jaskalainen. I'm okay with that. You could argue that somebody like Puljujärvi should have that time, and I wouldn't disagree with you in the slightest. But clearly, we're on our way here as we get an offer again for Damon Severson. Clearly, we are on our way. Kevin Shattenkirk's 100%. To having to make changes, I would assume. Although we do get back-to-back wins over Minnesota and the Devils. And then we get a little bit of revenge. Beating Detroit 7-6, though. Holy hell. I'd like to think Carey Price wasn't between the pipes for that one. We're going to go ahead and sim to February 1st. We have 3 games left this month. I have to edit the trade block because this is getting ridiculous. At least EA is trying to let me know, hey, Darnell Nurse might not be the best option, but I have faith in Darnell Nurse, and for good reason. It's Darnell Nurse, and he and Dumba, like I've mentioned, have been a great pairing for us. It's not always about having the best overall players. As we lose 4-2, we get a 7-3 win. Can we end the month on a good note? Yes, we can. Back-to-back wins. Jonathan Drouin got a little bit banged up, but he is back to 100%. It's February 1st. We have a 27-18-6 record. The Laval Rocket with 31 wins so far this season. We'll take a look at the standings, and we are currently in 3rd place in the division, but not by much. Ottawa has 2 games at hand. They're only 1 point back. Buffalo has a game in hand on us, and they're 9 points ahead of us. So, yeah. I will point out, though, there might be a certain player leading our team right now that a lot of you wanted to see be traded. Puljujärvi, 50 points in 51 games. A little bit of a return to form for him, which I am very happy about. We will take a look at the team. Max Pacioretty has hit 30 goals by February. Holy shit. 46 points in 51 games. He hit 30 goals last year in 18. He's hit the point already in 18 fewer games. 34 goals before he had the career high in real life of 35. Actually, no, 37 and 39. Jesus. Pacioretty was almost a 40 goal scorer. I did not realize that. I'm impressed. But back-to-back, actually now 3 straight 30-goal seasons for Max Pacioretty. He is dominant right now for us. Jonathan Drouin, 44 points in 51 games. It's good. Is it great? No. And that's a little bit of a problem. Not that I don't think he can be our top-line center, but I think he's capable of a little bit more than that. And then again, Jesse Puljujärvi, 50 points in 51 games. He hit 49 points in 57 games last season. Of course, he had injury trouble. And he had the career high of 71 points. He could very well break that. We got 31 games to go. Second line, Joel Farabee, 32 points in 51 games. That's not bad. That's not bad. You could certainly argue that could be a little bit better. Josh Norris, only 27 points. That's actually, I'm more disappointed in Josh Norris. And then you have Kasperi Kapanen with 32 points. So at the very least, 2 out of 3 on the second line have broken the 30-point mark. Take a look at the third line. Preston Garlock, 10 points so far this year in 51 games. That's disappointing, no doubt. Brady Tkachuk with 27 points and 15 for Gallagher. Of course, we're not exactly getting the most out of Gallagher at this point by having him on the third line. He doesn't have power play time either. 25 points in 51 games. He had the career high of 63 last season. On the fourth line, Jääskeläinen, 10 points. Philip Deneau still doing well. And 6 points for Murray Heinold. So, Garlock's going to get dropped back down to the fourth line. Even though he's a third line player now. And how do I want to do this? Do I drop Josh Norris? Farabee can't play center. I mean, obviously for face-offs, it's good to have this, this current center run that we have, but I can play Gallagher at center on the second line. I could do that. To be honest, I could put Farabee. I mean, I kind of like that third line of Tkachuk, Deneau, and Gallagher, because they had put up points throughout the year. But I'm a little bit disappointed in Josh Norris. He hasn't stepped up the way we've needed him to. On defense, everything's good. Jesus Christ, Quentin Hughes is a beast. An absolute beast. 48 points for him. That is insane. And then goaltending-wise, DiPietro's still doing all right. Carey Price down to a 914. So we just have to worry about some of our secondary goal scoring. I'm still very worried about that fourth line. I mean, Michael Frolik's tearing it up. Nick Shore is tearing it up. I mean, there's no doubt I think we could call up Frolik, Shore, McCarron, and Tierney and still be in a very good spot. Problem is, again, Preston Garlock can't be sent down at this point. And it would be a little bit dangerous to send down Murray, Heinold, and Samu Jääskeläinen. Well, we're going to take a hit to our face-offs. No doubt about that. But I'm going to drop Norris down to the third line. We're going to go Farabee, Gallagher, Kasperi Kapanen. And we'll see how that works out for the moment. Yeah, we'll see how that works out for the moment. Just trying something different. Of course, we're going to be approaching the deadline. Brady Tkachuk, again, I think we're going to trade him. You could argue trading him sooner rather than later would be a good idea. Although, he is good friends with Pacioretty, so I don't exactly want to piss off Max Pacioretty at this point. But I'd say it's a good idea to get rid of him. Call up Michael Frolik. Get whatever we can for Tkachuk. More than likely a prospect. So I think that would be a good way to approach it. But for now, I mean, we still have a month before the deadline, so we're in a pretty good spot. Let's just keep going with our 1 week at a time approach, and Kasperi Kapanen goes down for 2 weeks. Great timing there. Great timing. Oh, who can we call up? We're going to have to call up Conklin, because I don't want to risk losing one of the 4 at the top of the list. So Kip Conklin, who I didn't think would see NHL ice this season, is here. He'll be on the fourth line with Jääskeläinen and Heinold, which means, actually, to be honest, let's go Tkachuk, Deneau, Gallagher. Third line, Farabee, Norris, Garlock. And we'll try that out. Let me fix the defense again. And we should be fine. We'll just roll with whatever the power play says it should be. Let's go best lines down the AHL. That gets Yuri Nichushkin into that lineup for the moment. We lost 1-0 to the Hurricanes, beat the Blue Jackets 3-2 in overtime, and then lost to the Sens 5-3. Not a great stretch there. Hopefully we can turn it around this week. We got 2 games against Western Conference opponents. That could be a little bit worrisome, but it is a homestand. We have a 5-game homestand. Starting with this game against the LA Kings, I don't like that it's taking so long to load. That is incredibly worrying, although it's a waiver claim for Zach Kassian, as if we need any more of a logjam. back-to-back losses, but then we beat the Dallas Stars 6-0. Back-to-back 6-0 wins. We're up to 30 wins now on the season. That is ridiculous. I guess we'll sim the next 3 games. We should have players returning from injury. Kapanen is back. All right. So I am sorry, Mr. Conklin, despite the fact that you're doing well, you are the obvious player to send down. Hopefully you don't get too salty about it, although I'm sure that you will in a way. Let's see here. We'll go best lines again. And that's what it goes with by default. Farabee down on the 4th line. I'm not a fan of that. Oh, we'll put Norris back. We'll reunite that 2nd line. Actually, you know what? No, we won't. Let's go with that setup right there. We'll see how that works out for us. Hopefully well, obviously. And we'll go best lines down in the AHL. And we should be good to go here. As we are approaching deadline day, it's a 3-0 loss to the Florida Panthers. 3-0 win against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Big game against the Islanders. It's a 2-1 loss. We'll sim this final week, and then we're right there at deadline day, and we will have to make a big decision. So let's see. We'll scout the queue for 5 weeks. 4-1 loss to Toronto. Can we beat the Bruins? Yes, we can. 6-4 final. Playing the Carolina Hurricanes again. We lost to them 1-0 earlier this month. We lose to them 3-2, and we do get a little bit of revenge against the Ottawa Senators. Our record is 33-25-6. The Laval Rocket at 40-16-7. So in the standings, that is the big question. Where are we? We are still in 3rd. Again, though, Florida and Tampa both have 2 games in hand, and they are hot on our tail. We have 18 games to go in the season, 11 points back of the Buffalo Sabres. So we need to take a look, and we need to decide what is the best way to move forward, what is more likely to result in us having success. Now, Jonathan Drouin's turned it around a little bit. 53 points in 64 games isn't too bad. Pacioretty is still nearly a point-a-game player. 37 goals, 2 away from tying his career high. And Jesse Puljujarvi as well with 57 points. So the top line's doing okay. I'm good with that. Brady Tkachuk up to 36 points. I mean, definitely on pace for a new career high at the NHL level. 22 goals as well. Gallagher, I mean, definitely he's found his goal-scoring touch. He's too good to be on the 3rd line. And then Kasperi Kapanen with 42 points. It's a little bit low, definitely. I mean, he missed some time. Emmy, are you all right, pup? Just scratching away at her ear, as dogs do. Anyway, a little bit worried about Kapanen. Joel Farabee, 34 points, not bad. Philip Deneau, all right for his point total. Jääskeläinen, Heinout, and Garlock. Garlock is really struggling. All right, so it's clear we have to make some changes. Norris and Farabee are too good to send down outright. They are. Jääskeläinen, Heinout, and Garlock, you don't exactly want to send down and cripple their morale. But they're just not getting it done. So we have to make changes, and we're going to do so, especially while they aren't affected by waivers. So, I mean, you could argue sending down Farabee. Hell, I could send down Norris if I want to. It's just how is it going to affect them? So we're going to start off with, at the very least, Samu Jääskeläinen is being dropped for Frolik. And Jääskeläinen still at a 79. Okay. Lost a bit of morale for being sent down. I mean, Farabee's not bad. 34 points, 14 goals this year. Murray Heinout, though. I mean, again, hopefully this doesn't affect him too much. Shore was killing it. So we'll do that switch. Heinout still a 79. Garlock. Again, somebody I'm really worried about trying to send down, but I'm going to do so. We're going to call up Tierney. Garlock dropped to 1 overall point. Okay. And then, what do we want to do here? Brady Tkachuk has 22 goals, 14 assists. I think we're going to drop Farabee. And we're going to call up Mike McCarron. So, Garlock, High Note, Jaskalainen, and Farabee have all been dropped. It's just a matter of how they react moving forward. If we go best lines, it does put Kapanen and Gallagher as the top line there. Do I want to keep... The question is, what do I do with Norris? Because, again, he's struggled a little bit this year. Absolutely. But he's too good to just, like, completely drop from this lineup. If I go best lines down in the AHL again, Farabee, High Note, Garlock. Actually, Garlock dropped a couple of points, which is a little bit disappointing. But that could just be him going back to his natural overall instead of the statistical growth. So we could be okay there. We still have Mete, which, I mean, on the defensive side of things, we're pretty much good. Mete is going to be a solid depth option, I would say. So it's just a matter of how do I want to sort all of this out. Which, again, I don't really want Gallagher on the third line, but it might be a better way to go. For a league to know, Gallagher seems like a hell of a line. And we try Brady Tkachuk on the left with Norris and Kapanen. Again, I don't think that's a bad way to go. We'll give it a shot for now. There's still maneuverability with Gallagher. So we'll give that a shot for the moment. Our defense is set up yet again. The power play is going to be looking good once we get Darnell Nurse out of there. It does put Gallagher on the power play, though, so that's good. Hopefully we can, kind of make the most of that. Has Kapanen, Norris, and Gallagher. Not bad. And the four-man power play. All right, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to take your time. You got to set this up right, and that's exactly what we are going to do. Let's get Quentin Hughes into the lineup. What's the rush, right? What's the rush? The PK is now Shore, Deneau, Tierney, and Frolik. It's pretty good. Also still have Shattenkirk on the PK. And let's just swap them around. Goaltender, of course, Carey Price with a 920, a 922 for DiPietro, so that continues to drop. But overall, it's not too bad. I think we're good to go. And when it comes to any trades, what are we honestly going to do? What would we possibly do here as far as trades go? I mean, defensively, sure, you can argue it'd be worth going out and getting somebody better. Julesen's going to be top 4 here for a while. I don't see Dumba going anywhere. Dumba and Nurse are both 28. We have Quentin Hughes is only going to get better. Where are we going to improve? Improving on Girard? It's pretty good for a third pairing. We're playing Shattenkirk out of his role. I mean, yeah, we could risk getting somebody else, like a great defenseman, dropping Girard out of the lineup. Then, I imagine we'd have to risk it with Darnell Nurse getting dropped, because we wouldn't want Quentin Hughes on the third pairing, would we? I think he's a little bit too good for that. Although we could still have the power play time. So, I mean, it's the question, do we give up Sam Girard? The guy has 94 offensive awareness. I'm content to just give him a shot, see what he can do. No doubt we could go out and get like an 85-plus overall defenseman. That's not always the answer, as we've seen. So maybe I'll take a look really quick. And then offensively as well, I mean, you look at all the players that we just sent down. So we have team depth right now. You could argue trying to find somebody better than Brady Tkachuk, but I mean, somehow, some way, the guy has 22 goals this year, despite spending the majority of the year, if not all year, on that third line. So what would we really do? I suppose we could go out and try to find a top 6 player, maybe take someone like McCarron out of the lineup, and make the team look something like that. Maybe just keep Brady Tkachuk for this year. Find a really good top 6 guy. Maybe even a better center than Jonathan Drouin. So, you know what? With that said, let's go take a look. Let's see if there's anybody on the market who's actually affordable. I mean, we are in a playoff spot. You got to remember that. Although we do have contender status, not champion status, which is a little bit surprising. I got to be honest. I don't feel like the game's being too fair. But we'll look for a great defenseman. We'll look for a good center. We'll see if we can find either or. That is the question. David Pasternak. Not quite what I had in mind. Interesting, though, that he's On waivers, Torrey Krug is an upcoming UFA. As if we need another offensive defenseman, right? I mean, certainly a better offensive defenseman than Girard, but is it worth buying at this point? And especially, too, having to give somebody decent to Boston? No, that's not happening. Calgary, nope. Carolina, nope. Patrick Kane. 1 year left on that deal. 30-goal season so far. Wouldn't that be ridiculous to get Patrick Kane? You got Larson, Yarncroke. I believe that's Andreas Johnson. Yeah, it is. Patrick Kane, though, on the trade block, huh? Colorado's got nobody. David Savard is an option. I mean, if you guys watched the old QC series from last year, you know I like him, but he's got 2 years left, so no thank you. Tanev has an expiring deal. No thank you, though. Really. I mean, it's not like the game-changing defenseman that I'm talking about. No offense. No offense, Vancouver fans. Now, Pietrangelo, he's a game-changer. No doubt. 90 overall. 3 years left, though. Is he going to start declining sooner rather than later? That's a bit too risky, in my opinion. I don't even know if we'd have what it takes to really trade for him. I did see that David Desharnais was there, though. That's hilarious. I mean, you know, using Brady Tkachuk and maybe some other prospects, we might be able to get him if we really wanted to. But again, I mean, you look at our team defense right now, I mean, we're doing all right. Again, it would take Mete and Girard out of the lineup. So we'd have, what, Dumba, Nurse, Juleson, Hughes, Shattenkirk, and Pietrangelo reunited. It's possible, I suppose. You could argue it would give us a better chance, but it's not like Girard's having a bad year. So I guess we'll keep Pietrangelo in mind. And the other option, of course, was Patrick Kane. Detroit, not getting rid of any major game changers. Edmonton, same thing. Jonathan Huberdeau is on the block, which is ridiculous. Again, we're looking for more centers, though. And as it is, Patrick Kane, only a 65 in face-off rating, so he doesn't fit the bill. I mean, really, yeah. I mean, we have to focus on centers. So right now, the only guy I'm possibly considering is Pietrangelo. And even then, probably not. Let's see. Taylor Hall. Again, not a center, though. It's a good market for wingers, 71 in faceoffs, which honestly isn't terrible. It's a really good market for wingers right now. We got Brady Shea. No thank you, though. Really? Again, I really don't feel like we need those, crazy defensive improvements. I'm happy with where the team is right now. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe that's the problem. Vladimir Tarasenko and Robbie Fabry. Holy shit. It's crazy what wingers are finding themselves on the market right now. Vegas has Wayne Simmons, 84 overall. Washington getting rid of Ryan Dzingel. And that's it. So we don't have that better center option that I was talking about. Unless we were to play somebody with like 71 faceoffs. Like a Taylor Hall. But even then, I don't know if we'd have the cap to be able to bring... Well, we might have the cap to be able to bring him back. I think we're pretty much stuck. And then even so, someone like Pietrangelo for Tkachuk, we're good. We're good. This is our team. We're going to go for it. And hopefully these lineup changes that we've made didn't mean to hit advance day. I don't think it went through, so that's good. Hopefully the lineup changes we've instilled here are enough to really get this team going. So again, we'll go with Philip Deneau. Even though Norris is a better center. How do we want to do that? You know what? No, I'm going to give Norris a second chance. There we go. So that's what we'll do for now. We'll see how well Norris and Tkachuk work together. Go best lines again just in case. We're good. The team's set. It's make or break. It's time to see if they're good enough. And if they're not, we're really going to have to reconsider certain things. I mean, Max Pacioretty's playing like a man possessed. I'm pretty sure our captain wants to find some success here. He's not the only one. Let's go. Through deadline day. Playing the Florida Panthers the day before. We get a 2-0 shutout victory. And we lose Matt Dumba. Not for long, but still, we lose Matt Dumba. That's unfortunate. Norm Jenks up to a 77. will get the call-up. And I'm actually going, because I don't want to edit the power play, I'm just flat out going to have Norm Jenks replace him on at least the special teams units. I'm actually going to bump up Shattenkirk to be with Darnell Nurse. He's only out for a couple of weeks, if that, so whatever. We should be fine. Can we beat the Bruins? Yes, we can. 3-2 victory. We play the New York Rangers on Saturday, and it's another 3-2 victory. Not a bad stretch of games there. Four straight games, 4-game winning streak. We play Tampa and the New York Islanders this week. We get a big win against the Lightning, 5-4. Like, that is a huge win for us. And there you go, Matt Dumba's back. So he misses 3 games. We managed to win all 3 without him. Go figure. Certainly didn't see that coming. But let's get Dumba back into the lineup. We'll send Mr. Norm Jenks down to the AHL. We'll get him set back up down there. And we'll continue marching on towards the postseason here. Let's take a look. How's Norris doing? 15-16. Only 31 points. He hit 41 last year, which is crazy. So yeah, he is still struggling. Frolik really hasn't done much since being brought back either. So that is incredibly surprising. And Tkachuk hasn't scored in a while either. So, you know what? Let's make some changes here. Let's go with Tkachuk at center with Kapanen and Gallagher. And we'll go Deneau, Norris, Frolik. We'll see how that works out. Did I go best lines again down in the AHL? I did. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. This game against the Islanders, can we get the win? No, we can't. The winning streak comes to an end. 2-1 loss. We have 37 wins on the season, though I should have taken a look at the standings. We'll take a look now just to see. We're still in 3rd place in the division. Thankfully, the games are pretty much all evened out. We are 1 point clear of the Florida Panthers. However, we are 7 points back of Toronto. It looks like it's a 2-horse race at this point between Buffalo and Toronto, as it's pretty much been all season. So we're looking at not having home ice advantage in the first round, which kind of sucks, but what can you do? But you never know. If we can string together some wins here, maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to catch up a little bit. Now, we lose to Tampa, but we do get the win against Buffalo. Unfortunately, the win against Buffalo is a shootout win, so they do get a pity point. So 2 out of 4 points against the 2 teams we really needed to beat. It's not awful. I mean, you look at these games coming up: Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Boston. These are gigantic games within our own division here. We're playing the Florida Panthers. It's a 3-1 loss. 2-1 win against Dallas. We really need to beat Toronto. And we are back to exchanging and just trading wins and losses. I mean, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So hopefully this game against Tampa is a win, or will they be able to break our streak? That is the question. Let's scout out defense here. And they can't. It's another victory. We'll sim the final 2 games of March against Boston and Carolina. 5-2 win against the Bruins. Back-to-back 5-2 wins. But then we lose 5-3 to the Hurricanes. That leaves us with 4 games left, including a game against Tampa and Buffalo. We have 42 wins on the year. The Laval rocket up to 52 wins. But let's take a look here, shall we? At the standings, still in 3rd place. No surprise there. We're not catching Toronto. Literally impossible. All we can finish with is 98 points. So indeed, those 2 battling it out for the division title. As it stands, we have a 3-point lead on Tampa and Ottawa, but they both have a game at hand. We have 4 games left. They have 5 games left. I mean, as it stands, we're playing Toronto in the first round, which I'm not so sure how I feel about that. We'll find out shortly here. We're going to sim this game against the Nashville Predators. It's a 6-3 loss. That is incredibly scary. If we lose to Tampa here, I'm going to have to make, I'm going to have to make changes. For the first time in a while, back-to-back losses, and at arguably the worst time. We might not be in that, no, we're not. We're not in that 3rd place spot anymore. The Ottawa Senators are on a roll, and they have passed us They're 1 point clear with a game at hand. Tampa, they are now 1 point back with a game at hand. Florida, 2 points back with a game at hand. We could miss the playoffs. If we could lose out here and miss the playoffs. That is absolutely a reality. Brady Tkachuk has 2 goals as of late. Are you serious? Like, are you serious? Frolik really hasn't done anything. My God, Frolik has sucked. I mean, McCarron's at least putting up points. Tierney's putting up points. Frolik, man, what is going on, buddy? I don't want to take you out of the lineup yet unless I leave you as a healthy scratch. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I think. It's too big of a pain in the ass, really. All right, let's go with, now again, Norris is really struggling here. I'm not too impressed with Tkachuk either. I'm going to go, Danault, Gallagher, Kapanen, Tkachuk, Norris, and I'm going to go with McCarron. And we'll go Frolik, Tierney, and Shore on the 4th line. My God, have the lines changed a lot this year. We have, 2 games left this season? Squeaky chair for the win. 2 games left this season, 3 games left. I honestly can't remember this goddamn chair. We have 2 games left. And really, our fate's not even in our hands at this point. We need to win and hope that others lose at this point. I mean, 3 straight losses, that could be devastating to our chances. We'll see. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. We're ahead of Tampa solely off of tiebreakers. They're not even in the final wildcard spot. The other wildcard spot's in the Metro, which makes me think that right now we're the 8th seed. We are more than likely the 8th seed, which means, as it stands, we're playing Buffalo in the first round, because we just can't escape them. But we're not out of it yet. I mean, Tampa's tied with us in points. Florida's 2 points back. They're not out of it yet either. We need to win. Bottom line, that's what it comes down to. We need to win. These are playoff games. Here against Washington. 4-1 win. Thank God. Problem now is we have to play Buffalo, who have 10 more wins than us this season. The final game of the year. And what could be a preview of the playoffs if we win, or what could be the game that knocks us out of the postseason. It comes down to this. If we lose and Tampa gets even a pity point, Tampa's in. We have to win to guarantee our spot. We could finish as high as 3rd in the division. We could end up in a wild card spot. But this is a playoff game. I mean, this is more down to the wire than last year was, despite the February collapse last year. And actually, Columbus has 93 points. Columbus doesn't have that wild card spot by, a ridiculous margin. Man, Buffalo and Toronto. That's crazy. That is crazy. Currently 15th in the league. And it's all going to come down to the last game of the season. Will we make the postseason? Or will we miss the playoffs and potentially have to rethink our entire strategy and our entire goal of winning a cup with Carey Price? Because if we miss out at 35 years old, I think that is the time where we wave the white flag and send Max Pacioretty elsewhere, send Carey Price elsewhere, and try to get our veterans onto cup contenders next season. But let's not think that way. Let's not think that way. Because we are going to make the postseason. We're going to make the postseason. Mark my words.